Good afternoon, I'm Beth Wagner. Welcome to my channel focused on movement and function. In today's video, I'll show you the best ways to treat an acute injury, such as an ankle sprain, a knee strain, or pulling a muscle in your back or your shoulder. First, I'll talk briefly about what an acute injury is. Then I'll go over the treatment and demonstrate the steps of RICE, which stands for rest, ice, compression, and elevation. I'll talk about all those steps later. First, we're talking about injuries that happen suddenly and with high intensity. The most common symptoms of acute injuries include severe pain, swelling, redness, and warmth to the area. The standard treatment for acute injuries is RICE for 1 to 3 days. I'll talk about each of those steps individually. The first step is rest. This has 2 components. One is to stop the activity that caused the injury, for example, running or lifting. The second component is to stop using the body part that's in pain. The second part of RICE is ice, which is applying a cold pack. So you have a couple options here. You could use a commercial cold pack, such as this one. You can find these online or at your local drugstore. Or you can make a cold pack with ingredients you likely have on hand. You'll want to use 2 gallon-size freezer baggies, 1.5 cups water, about 1/2 cup of alcohol, and a squirt of dish soap. Combine the water, the alcohol, and the squirt of dish soap in the doubled up Ziploc bags. Squish it around a little bit and then toss it in the freezer for a couple of hours. If you find that the gel is too hard, then add a little bit of alcohol to decrease the density of it. If you find that it's too liquidy, add a little bit more water until you get the consistency that you want, that is gel but not too hard. You'll want to apply the cold pack for 15 to 20 minutes, 3 to 4 times a day. I'll demonstrate a great way to wrap your knee with a cold pack. First of all, you never want to have a cold pack directly on your skin. So a thin piece of fabric is fine, or if you're applying the cold pack directly on an exposed area, go ahead and put the cold pack in a thin pillowcase like this. You'll want to take the cold pack and place it directly over the part of your body that's injured. Wrap the other end of the pillowcase underneath and then over the top. If you're able to tuck it in on the side, that's great. Or you could use a bathrobe belt or an elastic wrap or something like that over the top to keep it in place. The third component of RICE is compression. You could use an ACE wrap or a yoga strap or a belt to gently add some tightness to the cold pack so that it gently squeezes your leg. The fourth component of RICE is elevation. If possible, you'll want to lift the body part above your heart. If I'm lying back, I could elevate my knee up on a couple of pillows. For a severe knee injury or a severe ankle injury, you might benefit from trying an ankle brace or a knee brace for a few days if you feel like your knee or your leg is giving out on you. Healing times vary from person to person and from injury to injury. Resting for too long can lead to stiffness and weakness, so start with gentle movements after about 1 to 3 days and see how you feel. If that aggravates your symptoms and you start noticing more inflammation, then go back to the elements of RICE, give it another couple of days, and then start that process over again. You'll also want to protect that body part from further injury by avoiding overuse. So if you're really itching to get back to your favorite sport or your favorite activity, you want to start to do that in steps. So if you're a runner, start by walking. Gradually increase your distance and your speed until you're able to do a light jog without sparking inflammation again. For more information on specific body parts and specific goals and return to activity after an acute injury, please check out my catalog of other videos. If you don't see a video for the topic or the body part that you're interested in, please leave a comment below. I hope this video has been helpful for you to learn different ways of taking care of your injury. I wish you a speedy and healthy recovery. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already done so, and click the bell if you'd like to be notified when I release my next video. Here's to your healing, health, and happiness. Have a great day.